I love a good system. From the solar system that operates all by itself for the last 4 billion years without a project plan or a project manager, to my circulatory system that keeps me alive every day. When a system is good, it is like check, 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 check. It's like you don't even have to really think about what you're doing. And systems are amazing until they're not. We're sitting in the ER, and David's sitting beside me. The nurse comes out, she calls his name. David stands up, and I stand up too. And the nurse looks at David and she says, "You come." And she looked me dead in my face and she said, "You stay." David looked at me and I looked at him, and then I began to plead our case. You see, I had the book that told me and told everyone David had brain cancer. He'd had a stroke. He had no short-term memory. Words didn't come out just right. So I say, did you read the medical record? He's had a stroke. He's got aphasia. He doesn't have any short-term memory loss. So when you take him into the room, he's not going to remember anything when he comes back out. And how can I write it down in our book that I need to tell other people? In that moment, that nurse's look of annoyance turned into a look of realization. You see, the medical record understood David, but it did not know him. And as we went along David's journey, and I've gone along through other journeys in the healthcare system, and now with my older parents, I've come to understand something. Doctors want data points. And we patients, we are complex stories. That story is not about a healthcare issue. It is a system issue. And we operate in all kinds of systems, right? We've got family systems and educational systems, our belief systems. And I have to tell you that systems have 3 inputs, every single one of them. They've got 3 inputs, 3 steps. Your input of some data, they process that data, and then there's an action that results from that data. And along that pathway, there is a human moment. And that is where agency is born and responsibility lives. You see, systems do not carry consequences. People do. I worked on a project and it was pretty interesting. I had to take a look across an agency and see how many different ways people reported race and ethnicity. And so we looked and we found out from the last census, that people reported 95,000 different races and ethnicities. It's incredible. 95,000 different ways people saw themselves and knew themselves. Systems simplify. And that's why out of those 95,000 different ways to describe yourself, you only get 7 boxes to choose from. What's the lesson that we learned? Well, we learned that averages hide stories and big categories hide small things. Has someone ever asked you a question and you knew that there was a right answer, but you weren't sure what it was? Knock, knock, knock. I hear my father answer the door. "What do you want, young man?" "Mr. Rose, can I talk to Teresa?" "Young man, it is 11 o'clock at night. What do you want with my daughter? And I heard a small, scared 16-year-old boy say, my stepdad found out she was Black and he kicked me out. Earlier that day, his stepdad asked me a question, 3 little words. What are you? As I've grown up, I've realized he didn't ask me, who are you? You see, because I can answer that question. I come from a beautifully diverse family. And when you see our family pictures, we look like a advertisement for the United Colors of Benetton. We go from light, light, light to dark, 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 and we are every shade in between. And I have always belonged. Those are my people, and I belong to them. When I answered that question, that man flattened me into a little box and gave me a big black X and labeled me wrong. And just like now, as we get flattened in today's digital society, we're being flattened into columns and rows of ones and zeros. We have some great examples of how systems are succeeding, right? I used a great system to find my amazing husband on the internet, right? It used data to match us, but it didn't replace my human judgment. November 22nd of 2022, we were introduced to some of the most advanced technology in human history. We had now we're getting new working partners and thought partners, right? Like ChatGPT and Claude. And every time you open up a Word document now, there's your friend, the trusty co-pilot. We like it. And we like it because decisions with AIs is becoming faster, and we're doing it with more confidence, right? The outputs that come out of those systems, they feel very, very certain. Last year, we found out what it looks like to ignore the human moment in the system. Doge happened, and it reverberated through all the systems that we know: geopolitical, our nation, our employment, our families, and sometimes our own identities. That showed us how artificial intelligence can become artificial authority. And somewhere along the way, someone stopped questioning the system. But I'm going to tell you, I'm a technophile and we are getting it right. I have what I call my FSD wings, my full self-drive wings. I get into my car, I plug in the navigation where I want to go. My car pulls out of the garage and it takes me where I want to go. But every single time, it wants to miss my exit. So I take control, I get off safely. And that is exactly how we should, and we are starting to design our systems with humans in authority. This is a beautiful collaboration, and we as humans control it. A parent knows their child is more than a growth chart. A teacher knows a student is more than a test score. And a nurse knows a patient is more than a medical record. You see, the systems we build, they're meant to help us see more clearly and not to replace what a human can know. When that nurse stopped and she looked at David differently, nothing in the medical system changed. Only a human did. No matter how advanced our systems become, every decision still passes through that human moment. So the next time that you interact with a system, I want you to ask yourself, Am I owning the human agency in my own systems?